What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the Here. Welcome back to a brand new video. We are here recapping the Miami Heat's preseason game against the Brooklyn Nets. Make sure you guys drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new, comment down below your thoughts on this game. And yeah, join the Discord. Let's get right into it. The Heat lost. It was a very, very close game, and the Heat lost. But again, I'm not worried about this loss because first of all, it's only preseason. Second of all, it was against the Nets starters, and we didn't have close to our starting lineup out there at all. So again, I'm pretty satisfied with the performance. And we're gonna go through individual players and talk about everybody who played well and who didn't play well. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing we're gonna be talking about is the two 3-and-D prospects on this Heat team that are gonna really shine this season, in my opinion. And those two are Highsmith and Cain. I feel like these two are gonna have a big role with the Heat this season. Especially Highsmith. Highsmith looks ready. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, he might be the most improved player on this team. Last year his shot was all over the place. There was times where he was hitting the side of the backboard. He was missing a wide left, wide right, short. It was inconsistent. Sometimes they were going in, sometimes the misses were bad. We always knew he could defend. They were putting him on Tatum in that Celtics series. He was somebody that we always trusted defensively, but offensively he lacked. And in the offseason, I don't know what he's done. I don't know how how his schedule was, but he's put in the work, man. You can see it with his jump shot. He looks very good offensively. Shooting that ball as consistently as he has been is going to be huge if he keeps doing that this season. Now, obviously, he's going to have slumps. Everybody's going to have slumps. But his form just looks a lot better. There's no hitch. It's very smooth and fluid. He is going to be big. I can see him getting a lot of minutes. Apart from the starting lineup and apart from Caleb Martin and Kyle Lowry and Josh Richardson, whoever starts out of Richardson and Lowry, that's 8 players right there. Maybe Thomas Bryant is 9, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Thomas Bryant is 9. I feel like the 10th person in this rotation is going to be Highsmith, and then Duncan obviously is in that area too. I might have miscounted that. That's probably 10 with Duncan and Highsmith. I just don't see how he doesn't get minutes this season, man. He's gonna be a stud. He's gonna be really good, and he can defend a 1 through 4 already. I think that's very established. He can do that. Sometimes he can even defend 5. We were putting him on Wemby in that Spurs game. But offensively, we just never knew if the shot was gonna translate or not, and it did. It did. He's put in the work in the offseason, and his shot looks really good. Both him and Cain. I think Cain with his 14 rebounds was absolutely huge for us last night. The thing about Cain is they're very similar players, him and Highsmith, except, as far as mold is concerned, they're going to be 3-and-D prospects in this league. Cain is a lot more athletic, not as good of a shooter, and not as physical as Highsmith. I think those are the 3 main differences. Cain will use his wingspan, he will use his length, and he will use those 2 attributes to make a difference defensively. Highsmith is going to get in you physically. He's going to get in that stance and is going to make sure he disrupts you physically. He's not the biggest Highsmith. He's only 6'4", but he plays bigger than what he is, which is why he kind of reminds me of PJ when we had him. And I feel like he could be better than PJ because PJ only shot well from the corners. Highsmith can shoot well from everywhere right now. He's shooting the ball from the wing, from the top of the key. He's knocking it down. And defensively, he might be better than what PJ was for us, and that's a stretch. That might be a stretch, but he looks good defensively. I mean, we all know Highsmith's one of our best defenders. People who watch the Heat will know that. So offensively, if he's putting that shot together, it's over. He's gonna be the new Vincent and Strus. He's gonna be that guy for us this season. Everyone's talking about who's gonna be that undrafted guy for the Heat. It's gonna be him. It's gonna be him, 100%. I can already see it with him, man. I think he's gonna be an absolute stud for us this season. Cain too. First of all, I think Cain is definitely a lock to get that last spot on the roster. I think, obviously we're we need one more standard spot and we need to fill 3 two-way spots, he's gonna get the standard spot. It's gonna be him, 100%. Like I can already see it. Yeah, I think Jamal Cain is gonna get that spot for sure. 14 rebounds for him, 7 points. Like, you know, if his shot looks as consistent as it did against San Antonio, he's gonna be in that conversation too to get minutes. And again, these two guys can just contribute from day one. They can help us in the playoffs if we need them to, especially Haywood. Again, I don't know if Jamal is ready because Jamal really hasn't had any NBA minutes yet, but there's only one way to find out, and he looks really, really good as far as impacting the game, rebounding, defending. He's athletic. He can finish. That's one thing that he has over Haywood, is that he can finish at the rim, and he can dunk on you. He can drive through the lane. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. That's one thing he has over Haywood. I'll give you that. And then if he gets that shot going, then he's going to be a problem too. So both of them, shout out to them. They're going to be huge for us. Bam, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in 16 minutes. I mean, this guy is just incredible. I think we just take it for granted that Bam is on the Heat. You know, defensively, this guy can guard 1 through 5. I mean, we all know that. I'm just stating, you know, what's already known. But I just want to reiterate that for you guys, just so you guys know how important that is. The mid-range shot looks fluid, man. That mid-range shot looks really nice. Like I was super happy to see him shooting that shot, because my only problem with Bam is that offensively sometimes he just doesn't want to shoot the ball. And I'm like, bro, just shoot the ball. Like, you're wide open. That mid-range shot is going to be big if he keeps knocking it down. If he keeps taking it, like I have no doubt that he's going to start knocking down if he just keeps taking it. So I just want him to keep shooting. And then I just think it's a luxury when you have a 6'10" center bringing the ball up the floor, crossing people over, and throwing a bounce pocket pass to the dunker spot for a wide open layup. Like, that is a very underrated skill. For somebody his size to do that, bro, like, that's point Bam. And people are talking about who's going to be the point guard, Like, I feel like this is all getting a little bit, you know, too much. It's getting a little bit overblown. We have a top 3 playmaking center, arguably. I just think he's behind Jokic and Sabonis in playmaking as far as centers go. We have one of the best playmaking wings in Jimmy Butler. And we have one of the best playmaking point guards in Kyle Lowry. We have guys who are above average playmakers in Hero and Richardson. And yeah, I just don't really see what the problem. And Duncan Robinson is a good playmaker too. He can't put the ball on the floor like these guys, but he can definitely pass the ball. So, I mean, yeah, you can talk about, oh, we don't have a true point guard. Like, the NBA is positionless, man. Like, we can talk about point guards and shooting guards and whatever you guys want to talk about. If you have somebody who can initiate the offense, we'll be fine. And we have Jimmy Butler, we have Bam Adebayo, we have Kyle Lowry, we have Tyler Hero. Like, we're going to be okay. All 4 of those guys can play make. Josh Richardson was brought in because one of the reasons was because he's an underrated playmaker. Like, he's been getting a lot of point guard reps. Like, we have playmaking on this team. It's just maybe not at the point guard position, which a lot of people are looking for, but we have playmaking on this team. And if you want to talk about point guards, again, I'm not a fan of his game, but Drew Smith looked good last night. He looked good. 10 assists, 9 points. Again, I never really knew why the Heat liked him so much, but just looking at it, just understanding, like, I had to think to myself, I was like, why do the Heat like Drew Smith so much? Am I missing something? Because the Heat are very good at this. They're very good at finding these guys, you know, who don't look good, and they make them look good. But for some reason, I never saw it with Drew Smith. I was like, I just don't know what he does, man. Like, he just doesn't do anything on the court. And I guess that's part of the reason why they like him, because he's just steady. He's not amazing at anything. You know, he's not like a elite, you know, specialist at anything. But he's steady, and he doesn't make too many mistakes. He doesn't commit too many turnovers. Like, he just knows how to play the position. And I guess they value that a lot because he's professional, he's steady, he's just a very, like, you know, stable player. Like, he's not too high, too low, like, confidence-wise, game-wise. You know what you're getting from him. Like, you know, he's reliable. I guess if you want to put it that way, he's reliable. And again, I think the one thing he has to improve is his offensive game. Apart from his playmaking, I just don't really see what he does offensively at all. Like, he can't shoot, he can't finish. So what does he do offensively? Defensively, I'll give him the fact that he's a scrappy pest who tries to, get physical defensively at his size. And last night he showed his playmaking chops. So, listen, again, he's not like the most exciting player, but the Heat like him because he's steady, is what I'm thinking. And I feel like, again, if they think that Drew Smith is going to be ready to be the backup point guard right now, then they're mistaken. Like, I'm sorry. Like, maybe I'm wrong because obviously, like, trust the Heat. Don't trust what I'm saying. The Heat have this developmental thing on lock. Just from my eye test, I don't think he's ready to be the backup point guard right now. I think he needs another year or something in the G League. He's definitely going to make the G League, the two-way roster because, bro, like they're playing him a lot of minutes. Like the way they're playing him, the way they're talking about him, like the way Spo raves about him, like he's definitely making the team. Like he's going to be one of those two-way spots. But I just don't know if he's ready to be that backup point guard right now. I just think that he needs another year to refine his skills. And yeah, we'll see what happens with his development. But I do want to say he had a good game last night. Swider, really good game, man. 15 points. At that size, if he can shoot the ball like the way he's been shooting, it's just very valuable in this league. Him and Duncan are going to be a very, very good tandem this season. He's definitely going to make the team as well as one of the two-way spots. Like I think that's already signed, sealed, delivered. I'm very surprised if he doesn't make the team. I'm going to be extremely surprised if he doesn't, but I think he will. Who else did I talk about? Jay Rich only played 7 minutes. Didn't really see much from him. Champagne played 30. He looked okay. The big one I want to talk about is Jovic, because I think a lot of people are a little bit frustrated not with Jovic, but with the situation, I guess, because it's not Jovic's fault. Just as somebody who's watched Jovic since before he came into the league, he's just a very unique player. He's a very unique player, and he's a very like, versatile, skilled player at his position. And it's not something that the Heat need right now as far as what he brings to the table. He's a 6'9", forward who can bring the ball up. He's basically a 6'9" point guard who can bring the ball up, initiate offense, play make, and can shoot. That's what he brings to the table. Now, looking at all these things, he's probably one of the worst defenders on this roster. Again, not his fault. He's just very young and he's very inexperienced, and he's not the biggest or physically gifted or athletic. So naturally, he's going to struggle defensively. He doesn't have the longest wingspan or anything like that. And if you're not a good defender, it's going to be extremely hard for you to get minutes on the Heat, unless you bring something offensively that the Heat really love. Right now, he doesn't, which is fine. He's only 19. He just graduated high school. Give him some time. Give the Heat some time. This guy is a project. It's going to take a while for him to develop. I feel like people were like, we saw his play in FIBA, and people were like, yo, he's going to be a stud for the Heat, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's going to be like the guy who takes that big leap this season. Like, I feel like you're a year too soon with that. I feel like we're all a year too soon with that. Give him some more time, man. Like, give him another year. Let him properly develop his game, refine his skills. Offensively, right now, what he does, like what he can do on the Heat offensively is just spot up. I'm not saying that's all he's good at, but when he's going to be on the floor with the Heat, with Jimmy and Bam and Tyler and Kyle and anyone, he's going to be spotting up. That's all he's going to be doing. And we don't need a 6'9", pick and pop player right now. We just don't. At that forward position, we have so many guys who are above him on that totem pole. I just talked about Highsmith. I think Highsmith is, again, we're not even talking about the starters. Forget the starters. Kevin Love is starting. Whether you guys like it or not, again, I'm not convinced it's the right idea, but he's going to start. So let's just say Kevin Love starts. Off the bench, if you want to look at the forwards, where is he going to play? Like, where is he going to play? Highsmith has already established himself. I think everybody's forgetting the fact that Caleb Martin has not played a single preseason minute, but he's going to be there. So that's 2 forward spots already gone. If you're talking about like a 10-man rotation, the small forward and the power forward position are gone already. But let's just say you want to include more, forward spots. Jaquez and Cain, I think, are above him as well. Because Jaquez is NBA ready. Cain is NBA ready. He looks really good right now. Jovic is not as ready as these players are at all. And the reason is these players can be boxed into roles. Like Jaquez, Cain, what's his name? Highsmith and Caleb. All of them can play a role for you where they can shoot threes and they can defend. Jaquez is probably not, just a three-point shooter. He can put the ball on the floor as well. Like he has playmaking. He has a lot of other stuff to him. But if you want to box him into that role, he can do it. Jovic is not going to be a 3-and-D player because he cannot defend, and shooting the ball, he's not as mobile he's not as mobile to run off screens and do dribble handoffs and do all of that type of stuff. If you can't defend, you need to be in that mode of Duncan and Sweater where you can just run off screens and do dribble handoffs. Jovic is just not mobile enough because he's 6'9". Like he just doesn't have the foot speed, or he's just going to be a spot up or pick and pop shooter. That's what he's going to be in this offense. And again, that's not something the Heat need. So it's going to be hard to fit him in. I'm not going to lie. Like I just don't really see where he's going to play. And I don't think that's a problem. Like people are going to be disappointed if he doesn't play. Like don't be disappointed. Like just think about this logically. Like where is he going to play? I just named 4 guys who are not even in the starting lineup. That's not even including Jimmy and Kevin Love. Like that's 6 forwards that I think are above him in the totem pole. And you guys think he's going to get minutes somehow. Like he's not. He's definitely not. So if he has a season where he's just sitting on the bench, or if he's in the G League, then just let him be. Let him improve. Let him work on his game. There'll be a time where he gets minutes on this team. I promise you guys. Like there will be a time. It's just not right now. We have too many guys who can do a lot of things that the Heat need right now, and he just doesn't do, most of them. He can shoot the ball, which is what his role is going to be if he gets minutes right now on the Heat. But again, we don't need a 6'9", Gallinari type pick and pop player. We just don't need that right now when we have switchability and versatility at those positions, because we already have guys who can shoot the ball at those positions, but it can also defend at an elite level, and he can't do that. So yeah, it's going to be tough for him to get minutes, but I don't think anybody should be disappointed if he doesn't. I just think it's just a part of the game. Like, we just have a lot of depth at that position right now. So, somebody's going to be left out. It's going to be him. I could be wrong and he could play. If he plays, I'm super happy. But I'm saying if he doesn't play, which I don't think he will, then it's fine. Just don't be disappointed in that. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about with Jovic, man. It was something I want to talk about for a while because I feel like a lot of people were kind of placing unfair expectations on him. Like, I just don't think it's fair to expect the man to have like a breakout season this year, because I just don't think he's going to get the minutes, because I just don't see where he plays. Like, I just named all the players that are going to be above him. And yeah, like, hopefully like he gets his reps in the G League and with the Skyforce. But right now, I just don't think he's ready, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. He's a project and it's going to take time, but he's going to be special. He's going to be special. Jovic is going to be a special player in this league. Just be patient with him. That's it. Yeah, we're going to wrap up the video, man. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Hopefully you guys, enjoyed it. It's a longer video, 18.5 minutes. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Again, we're so close. We're only 5 days away from the season starting. I cannot wait. Like, I'm so stoked for this season. And yeah, man, that's going to be it. I'll see y'all later as always. Have a nice day. Peace.